Hi everyone. Today we continue with our first module, language and communication. The previous classes we already covered what is communication, types of communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is a major part. And continue with that, the last part of our first module. Now we are going to that area. You know that the success of communication that lies upon the eliciting right responses. Right response means feedback. So if it is not achieved, so the communication is not effective. So there is a communication gap. So there are several reasons for this communication gap. It is known as barriers to communication. Barriers. The term barriers indicate something make difficult for effective communication or hindrance. So there are several barriers or several reasons for that make difficult effective communication. And these reasons or these barriers we can come under four categories. So there are several barriers or several reasons we can see. And these barriers or this reason we can come under four title or four category. So number one, physical barrier or external barrier. Number two, linguistic barrier or language barrier. Number three, psychological barriers. Number four, social barriers. So whatever the reason or what are the reasons, those reasons we can come under these four categories. So these are barriers to communication. So now the present class, it's about barriers to communication. It is the last part of your first lesson, your first module. So the first one. So barriers means hindrance, you know that. That means those factors that make difficult for effective communication. So first one, external barrier or physical barrier. What are the external barriers for communication? So take an example of a classroom situation. A teacher is taking class, and a communication process means there is a sender and receiver, and the sender sends a message and receiver wants to decode and give feedback. So this is the process. If the feedback is not possible, so the communication is not effective. And if the listener, they cannot listen properly, the communication is not effective. So in a classroom situation, the teacher is taking the class. So just outside the class, or maybe in courtyard or veranda, some people or some students, they make sounds and they make some commotion. And I ask you a question, can it influence the classroom? Definitely. The classroom situation make difficult because of the outside noise. So this is an external barrier, noise, outside noise. And another thing, if a student feeling discomfort in the class, that may be due to illness or headache or some body other issues, etc. Can he or she listen carefully? And can he or she give proper feedback? No. So that's also an external barrier. So these are external or physical barrier which include noise and physical illness, extreme weather condition, that means too much cold, or especially in foreign countries, that means winter, some minus degree winter. And if summer is too hot, that make difficult, for example like classroom situation, etc. So external noise and severe cold or severe weather condition, and our physical discomfort, that means illness, etc. All these are physical barrier or external barriers. There are several external barriers. For example, if you use network communication, the network signal is an external barrier. If you use a computer or internet communication, that means using app, the internet the signal of internet that make barrier. So all these are come under external or physical barrier. Then number 2, linguistic barrier or language barrier. So as per the title indicate, sometimes the language that used for communication make difficult. That means, so there is a listener and a speaker, we know. So that's the way of communication or the circle of communication. If the speaker's linguistic level or language level is very high, consider if the speaker's language level is very high and the listener's language level is very low. So what happens? So the effective communication is not possible, because the speaker, he can speak the higher level language, using higher level language, and the listener can only a little understand, because the language level of those two is entirely difficult. So that's a linguistic barrier. And problems of meaning, for example, using hard diction. Diction means difficult words, and jargon means some kinds of terms, scientific terms, etc. So if a common man, he cannot understand maybe the jargon or difficult diction, some kinds of technical word. And sometimes the language or a sentence may be meaning multiple means, and that means ambiguous sentence. All these make difficult to communication. So these are come under linguistic barrier. That means the level of language of speaker and listener is different, and use of hard diction, jargon, and multiple meaning words or sentence, like ambiguous sentence, etc. These are come under linguistic barrier. And we can also see the language problem. Maybe we know only a little language, maybe one or two languages, and if a speaker speak to you that a language that you don't know, what happens? You can't understand anything, you cannot give feedback. Okay, all these come under linguistic or language barrier. The next one is psychological barriers. So psychological barriers include, so your interest and your attitude, your open-mindedness, etc. That means some people, they are very rigid, a rigid opinion in their determination, etc. So such people, they are not ready to listening with an open mind. They are always prejudiced. So for example, if they listen a class or a seminar or something like that, so it's also a communication. So they come with a prejudiced mind, a preconceptual mind. Prejudice means prejudice, munvidi. So always be an open mind. If you prejudice with a class, you cannot understand what the class convey, because you already have some point and you are not ready to change what you receive, the points. So be an open mind, that is the first one. And you want to interest whether the class or the speaker or anyone, you want a kind of interest to them and an attitude. So all these come under psychological barriers. That means psychological barrier indicate your interest, your attitude, and if you are prejudiced like that, prejudice, preconceptual mind, rigid mind, etc., all these come under psychological barrier. And the last one is social barrier. So these are not as important as like other three. Social barrier indicate some social aspect. That means some people who categorize as socially higher status or superior, and some others are maybe comparing to them or socially lower class, maybe in the case of money or etc. So such superior people or socially higher class people, they have a communication gap in between socially inferior people or socially lower class people. This comes under a social barrier. This is not as important as like other three, but it's also a barrier. That means some kinds of segregation in the society that may be affect communication. So these are barriers to communication. So any kinds of whatever the barriers that we can come under all these four category. So there are several other examples, so you can find out the other examples of barriers, and those barriers are come under all any one of these title. So our lesson or our first module is almost over, and the there is nothing in the your syllabus, but we can add one more thing, that is chief requirements for effective communication. So you can add many points, the requirement for effective communication. So just for you, I look at some important point. Number one, clarity of thought, clarity of expression, use of familiar words, avoiding ambiguous expression, being precise, ചുരുക്കി പറയാം, precise, and consideration of the reader or listener, and avoid those barriers, etc. These are some chief requirements for effective communication. So our first module is over here. Then the next class we can go to the second module, the resource for language learning. Okay, thank you.